Good morning. I'm Jerry Ingram with Volunteer Home Mortgage, and I am this morning's sponsor. More about what my business can help with all your mortgage needs is coming up.
Discover your new Acura right now at Harper Acura. Like the 2024 Acura RDX.
It's time for Wake Up with Witcher. Here's meteorologist Mike Witcher from the East Tennessee Weather Center.
Hey, good morning. 7 o'clock here to get the morning started. This morning's Wake Up with Witcher is sponsored by Volunteer Home Mortgage. You can visit them online at volunteerhomemortgage.com or give them a call at 865-238-7500. The housing market is still doing fairly well. Every realtor I've talked to, and if you're working with a realtor and you need a home mortgage, make sure you give them a call today. Again, 865-238-7500. They have a slew of mortgages available. They can sit down and have a conversation with you and really talk about what this means for you and your family and walk you through the entire process. And they are available 7 days a week. Plus, they don't just operate in the state of Tennessee. They operate also in Georgia and Florida. VolunteerHomeMortgage.com or call them at 865-238-7500. All right, let's get to work, right, friends. We've got a live look there in Tampa Bay, Florida, here to get the day started. Thanks to EarthCam, and you can see it is raining in Tampa, and this is not great news. Hurricane Milton is now a Category 5 hurricane. It is less than, well, that's wrong. It's less than 15 hours away. It is moving to the east and northeast at 14 miles per hour. The pressure is incredible. Extremely strong and dangerous and powerful storm. Pressure is now 907 millibars. Winds sustained at 160 miles per hour, gusting to 195. As the kids head off to school here this morning, if that's what your kids are doing, not all kids are, it's chillier outside this morning. We've got current temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, even some pockets of low 50s. But as they head home from school, some beautiful weather is on the way. As temperatures do top out at about 75 degrees, and not a lot of fog out there here to get the day started. So how's everybody doing this morning? Are you enjoying this beautiful weather that we've got in East Tennessee? And hold on a second. It's only going to get colder next week. What? It is only going to get colder next week. That's right. That's kind of a weird record scratch. We've got another cold front on the way Sunday, Monday, and that is going to drop our temperatures even more so. So we'll be talking about that coming up here in just a few minutes. A live look there from Fox Road Marina and a beautiful start to the day. No fog really to slow us down here this morning. And that's really going to be the story here throughout the day today and the rest of the week. All right, so let's talk about low temperatures. Currently in the 40s and 50s. Maybe a light jacket if you're going to be spending any amount of time outside, which is in some locations trending about 5 degrees colder than what we were yesterday. But most locations are trending just a little bit cooler than everybody else. All right, back to the hurricane. Let's talk about all things Hurricane Milton. Again, like I said, it's less than 15 hours away from making landfall. And the latest track now is south of Tampa. But again, you can't concentrate necessarily on the exact center line of this track. This is the National Hurricane Center's forecast. And there's a cone of uncertainty for a reason, because this can still wobble north or south. But it is anticipated to make landfall as a strong category 3 or a category 4. And when you look at the models, these are called spaghetti plots. So just a bunch of different models. Looks like spaghetti out there. But the all signs pointing south of Tampa, which would be amazing news for Tampa. While they're still going to see the extreme wind because they're going to be close enough to the center of the storm. If this takes shape and it puts it south of Tampa, the Tampa Bay area, that is less storm surge. And that couldn't be better news for folks in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, all the way up to East Lake. Now, south of that, and again, south of the center of the eye, we are looking at the most storm surge. Up to 12 to 15-foot storm surge is expected. This thing is a monster. Buck said, he's been saying it for several days. This thing is a monster. I've been saying it for several days as well. All right, here's the latest futurecast from Milton. Again, the next update is going to be coming out later on today, and I'll keep you posted on that. 11 o'clock here this morning. There's landfall late tonight, early tomorrow morning. So conditions will continue to deteriorate. I've been watching the local news in Tampa, and they've been saying, you still have a little bit of time to get out. If you have not left your house, get out now. So if there's anybody joining us from Florida and you decided to hunker down, well, maybe not a good idea. And I posted that on social media. We'll talk more about it, but really the general idea is I asked on social media yesterday, would you leave or would you stay? And, well, I think the majority rules here on this one, and everyone's like, heck no, I would leave. And I had several stories from folks that lived through Michael and Irma and other hurricanes in the past. And so they're like, that was the scariest thing in my life. Why did I even stay? Well, why would you stay? Value your life. Property we can replace everything that we have except for our lives, right? Anyways, all right, so massive wind structure with this, and we're still going to see some strong winds on the backside of the system. So, and we're going to get a storm surge across the South Carolina coastline, North Carolina, South Carolina, from, say, Savannah all the way up to Myrtle Beach. We're still going to get some of a storm surge because they're going to get a southeasterly flow around the low-pressure system, around the hurricane itself. And so storm surge is still expected. All right, here at home, another beautiful day, even cooler. Then this pattern holds strong all the way through the weekend. But as I mentioned, there's another cold front on the way, and that's going to bring us even cooler weather as we get into next week. Happy hump day, by the way, Eva. All right, so lunchtime temperatures. Anybody want to meet up for lunch? Anybody? It's going to be a gorgeous day today. Perfect lunch hour. If you're in the sunshine, it feels amazing with a temperature of 68 degrees. And here are your other lunchtime temperatures from across town. And we're talking mid to upper 60s across the northern plateau and Tri-Cities, to upper 60s to low 70s across the central and southern valley. Those are lunchtime temperatures, but those might be our high temperatures next week. That's a preview for you. High temperatures today will be nice and average. We're going to be in the low, mid, and a few pockets of upper 70s, which is right where we should be for this time of year. And the air is dry, and so that just makes it feel so nice to get outside. Oh, if you work outside, enjoy it, embrace it. It's been a long, hot summer. 73 degrees by 6 o'clock here tonight, and then down into the mid-60s by 8 o'clock. So a nice evening for a nice after-dinner walk, or maybe a fire pit in the backyard. I know we talked about that yesterday. Tammy says, it is cold this morning. Wait till next week, Tammy. Wait till next week, my friend. High pressure is the name of the game all the way through Friday, and that's going to keep the air dry. That's also responsible for keeping Milton 2 hours south. Typically, these storms curve northward, and that's not going to be the case with Milton. So because the air is going to be dry with a gradual bump in those dew points as we get into Sunday ahead of our next cold front. But look at the dew points falling back behind the cold front. Very cool, dry Canadian air sets on in. We're talking dew points in the 30s by next Tuesday. And remember that our temperature can and never will drop below the dew point number. It's impossible. So the lower that dew point number under clear skies, the lower our lows will go. How low can you go? Aaron, I'm with you on this one. I am absolutely loving this weather. It is absolutely amazing. All right, here comes our next trough of low pressure coming in out of Canada. Here we go. Get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and a pocket of cool air settles on in. And so that brings us the drier air and the cooler air. Look at next Tuesday morning lows. If you think this morning's chilly, Tammy, wait till next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're talking lows in the 30s and 40s. And do we actually get our first frost advisory? Maybe. That's a possibility. We'll see how it all plays out. Well, sorry, Kimberly. We have to say it. I'm sometimes the bearer of bad news, but also sometimes the bearer of good news, huh? High temperatures next week, next Tuesday, Wednesday, probably down into the 50s and 60s. Now that, my friends, is what I call sweater weather. Sweater weather. Oh, man, that's going to be amazing. This pocket of cool air, as the Climate Prediction Center has really highlighted based on the latest model guidance, is going to stick with us from the 15th through the 19th and maybe linger until from the 17th to the 23rd. So we'll see where that goes. I know, Katrina, but we may. We're talking some chilly air. And unfortunately, no rain. And I say unfortunately because we're going to see that drought creep back in. The new drought monitor comes out tomorrow. Of course, I'll have highlights on that tomorrow morning. Not necessarily during the show, but we'll do that afterwards. And the dry air is likely to stick with us here all the way through the latter part of the month, which is classic. Welcome October. Classic to see the drier air. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. Let me go and take myself off the screen here. Knoxville, mid-70s today and tomorrow. Low 70s on Friday, back to near 80 on Sunday, but mid-60s next Tuesday. Tri-Cities, Crossville, could drop down into the upper 50s next Tuesday. But look at those morning lows Tuesday morning in Crossville down to 37 degrees. Talk about chilly. Oh. Chris says, I need my heat. Don't spring just start? Didn't spring just start? Yeah, you wish. Jack Frost needs to just hold off. Well, we'll see. Hey, listen, Pam. Listen, when I first moved to East Tennessee, I was told never say the four-letter S word on TV. And I was like, I'd never say that. They're like, snow. Don't say snow on TV. That was back in 2005. So I guess we're going to have to say the F word. Frost. It's about that time. Hey, by the way, if you're new to the platform, you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app. It's your one-stop shop for weather right here in East Tennessee. It is super simple, easy, and efficient. It's clean. It's not cluttered like all the other weather apps out there bombarding you with apps and advertisements and all that. Yes, do I have to have advertisements? Apps of positively, lootly. But the interactive radar is great. And by the way, if you want to track the hurricane, notice the bottom center of your screen. I've got it located on the hurricane itself. It was a screen grab from yesterday, but the cool thing is not only can you get the National Hurricane Storm Center track, and you can click on the little icons themselves, but which gives you all the data from the National Hurricane Center, but it gives you past, current, and future radar up to 2 hours. I also have a daily blog that gets updated after the show as well. Your current conditions, 7-day forecast, hourlies. It is amazing, and it is 100% free. So just go to your app store and search eastTNweather. Like, look for the orange TN and the white lightning bolt. You can't miss it. Super clean, easy, efficient, understandable, and it's ours together to enjoy. Right? Right. All right, my friends. Hopefully you're doing well this morning. We play golf in wintertime, says Lee. Why would you not? Our winters here are nice and mild. They're not a lot. They're nice and mild. So nice weather there. Hopefully you'll get out and be able to play a few rounds of golf there, Lee. Dwayne says, good morning, prayers for Florida. It is not going to be great. It's going to be destructive. It's going to be awful. The good news is this storm does not affect us here in East Tennessee. Great news. Time to dance already, Katrina? It's only 12 minutes after 7. But what Katrina wants, Katrina gets, I guess. Happy viewer wives. Notice I said wives. Chill out, Kimberly. Chill out. I said wives. Girlfriends. We'll call you girlfriends. How about that?
All stations. This is United States Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida. Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida. Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida. First Safety Marine information broadcast regarding a hurricane warning for the west coast of Florida. Switch and listen channel 22 Alpha, frequency 157.1 megahertz out.
That was coming from that, by the way. That was coming from that, so I just wanted to listen and see what they were going to say.
All stations. This is United States Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida.
Just doing their testing.
Florida. Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida. There is a hurricane warning in effect for the west coast of Florida. Expect northeast winds 50 to 70 knots with gusts up to 105 knots and seas 20 to 25 feet. Tropical storm force winds possible from early Wednesday morning until early Thursday morning. Hurricane force winds and hazardous seas will capsize or damage vessels and severely reduce visibility. The Coast Guard and local government agencies have limited to no response capabilities to emergencies. Mariners should remain in port, alter course, and or secure the vessel for extreme conditions. This is United States Coast Guard Sector St. Petersburg, Florida, out.
Pretty crazy stuff right there, huh? We'll mute that this time around. That was interesting. All right. Let's go. Let's boogie, shall we? Let's boogie. Today's national holidays. I love me some boogieing music. All right, today's national holidays, birthdays and events. Happy birthday to anybody celebrating a birthday here on October 9th. Can you believe it's already October 9th? Mind-blowing. It's National Pro-Life Cupcake Day. Very good. It's National Moldy Cheese Day. Anybody like moldy cheese? We're talking about all those kinds of moldy cheeses. I am a big fan of blue cheese. Now, my wife lived in France for about 4 years. She was an au pair there for a family of 5. No, a family of 6. I think she had 4 kids. Anyway, she said one of the craziest things that she's ever seen in her life was the fact that somebody had put cheese on the table at a restaurant that she was at, and the cheese was literally wiggling around because it was just loaded with bacteria and mold, and it's live. Is that not great? And some of those cheeses just smell like dirty feet. I can't do all the cheeses. Some of them I can do, but some of them that are really pungent and like dirty feet smelling, no thank you. But blue cheese is pretty good on a hamburger and everything like that. This is why you're not into radio. Why? Coast Guard saved lives from Lake Michigan, 1978. The storm caught me 2 miles away from shore on your Hobie Cat. I love Michigan. There we go. Crazy stuff right there. Happy wedding anniversary, Barbara. We sure hope you have a great day. It is Barbara's wedding anniversary. All right, moving right along. We've got Pandas Awareness Day. It's a little kid with his hands on his face. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Pandas Awareness Day on October 9th sets out to increase research, education, and support to those affected by pediatric acute onset neuropsychiatric syndrome, PANS, and pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorders associated with strep. Associated with strep. Interesting stuff. I did not know that. Did you know that? Maybe you did. National Curve Day. To all the men and women that's got some extra curves, we love you. And celebrate the day. We've all got a few extra curves in our older age, don't we? Some of you young bucks may not so much, but us old fellas, the curves get you every once in a while. It's hard to maintain that 20-year-old body. It's National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. Come on, kiddos. Maybe I'll have my kids take me to lunch today. How about that? Not a bad idea. Kids, you got some money in your bank account? You're taking dad to lunch today. Mom's got to work. National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work or School Day. Oh, that's a good one. Do you sleep with a teddy bear blanket still? Do you? And National Stop Bullying Day. I'm going to give that one a... Anybody ever bullied? And it's National Emergency Nurses Day. Big shout out to all the nurses. Yeah. I was bullied in high school. I had some kids in high school that they picked on me a little bit. And the funny thing is I was I went to a cliquey high school, okay? Just where I grew up. Don't judge me. I talked about how I went to a rich high school. All my friends got brand new cars when they turned 16. I did not. But I remember these kids. I don't remember their name. There were 2 kids in math class. And for some reason, they always picked on me. And again, I was part of the cool kids, so I don't know why they picked on me, but they did. And I remember them shoving me in the lockers, throwing me into the trash cans, not into the trash can, but throwing me up against the trash cans, and throwing tennis balls at me when I got out of my car. There was a time in high school that I was really nervous to walk through the halls, and there was times that I would walk around the opposite direction and go even the longer way, and I went to a big high school just to get to class. Sometimes I was late because I was avoiding the bullies. But the crazy story was one day I went to go meet my friends at the park. I was driving at this time, and I pulled up to the park and I see those 2 boys. I was like, my heart sank to my stomach. I started getting nervous. They came up to the car, and they looked like they were going to punch it. I had my window down, so it looked like they were going to punch me. And they go, I didn't know you were friends with these guys. Well, we like you now. Really, dude? Really? You pestered me that long? And then all of a sudden you realize who I was friends with? And now I'm cool? Don't let your kids bully. And don't let them get bullied either. And how do you teach kids not to get bullied? Do you tell them to walk? It takes a bigger man to walk away? Or do you tell them to fight? It's always the retaliator that gets in trouble. That's what I tell my kids. If you retaliate, you will get caught every single time. Chris says, Dad bod extraordinaire, curvier than the Tennessee highway. It is like, it doesn't stop, Aaron, does it? I mean, it's consistency is key. You cannot work out your diet. Diet and exercise is the only way to do it, right? Calories in versus calories out. It's not rocket science. It's just basic science. A bully actually cut my hair off. Like you were scalped, or just like just took a little bit of it off. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right, Aaron? It is what it is. But it sucks. It sucks. There's no other word to say it. It sucks. Don't let bullies are just awful. And more times than not, bullies are big giant weenies themselves. And if they get bullied, sometimes when a bully gets bullied, you're like, whoa, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't fun. Kudos to the nurses, as they are the first ones to see you before the doctors. Amen to that. Big shout out to my wife. My wife made fun of me the other day, actually, because we did have national, I don't know what it's called. It was National Vascular Access Day. She goes, I heard it. She goes, it's National Vascular Access Day. And I said, yeah, no, I talked about that on the show this morning. She goes, and you didn't mention me? That's what I do. I'm a vascular access nurse, a PIC nurse. That's what she does. She travels around town. I will agree with that, Aaron, for sure. Karma will come around. Buck, you are such a big dude. I busted 3 kids' teeth out in school despite being bullied first. I warned them. I was in one. Well, I've never really been in a true fight, but I had one. I actually have hit one kid straight in the head, right there in the mouth. He was my next door neighbor. We were on the bus, and the dude was sitting in the back of the bus, and I was like, "Dude, you can't sit in the back of the bus. That's for us, right? You know the bus rules. The older you are, you get the back of the bus. Those are just standard rules of riding a bus." He wouldn't move, and he was a big chunky kid, and he was my next door neighbor, the Usiglios. I remember them like crazy, the Usiglios. I don't remember their first names, but I remember their last names. They were awful, awful neighbors, and their kids were just big giant jerks. They would steal my kids' our toys, and they would break them. Anyways, he was on the back of the bus one time, and he was pulling my hair, and I was like, "Bro, you better stop, or I'm gonna knock you." And he wouldn't stop. Finally, he let go. I turned around, just went. Popped him right in the face. Well, lo and behold, I get home from school, and guess who comes knocking on the door? His mom and whatever his name is, little tiny Euseglio. And all my mom said, well, he probably deserved it. Big shout out to my mom this morning. That's right. I'll tell you another bully story. I remember rollerblading through the neighborhood. This is a funny story, actually. Some things I probably shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to anyways. And my mom denies this to this day, by the way. She still denies this, going, no way I ever said that. But I was rollerblading with my friend Doug. Isn't it funny how we remember names from like childhood? Anyways, Doug Guthrie. He and I were rollerblading around the neighborhood, and these kids drove by in a car, and they threw Slurpees on us. Like, 7-Eleven Slurpees, like the frozen drinks. And so we had red and blue all over us. We went home, and my mom goes, are you kidding me right now? She goes, you go find those kids. John, and my older brother John was driving at the time. She goes, John, you take those kids and go grab some eggs and go throw some eggs at them. My mom told us to egg a couple kids. She denies this to this day, but I promise you she did. So we grabbed some eggs. My brother and I went in the neighborhood. We found them, and then we probably were going too fast through the neighborhood. Running stop signs and stuff. That's a no-no, right? I wasn't driving. And we finally found them. They got into a cul-de-sac. They couldn't go anywhere, and we egged their car. It's true story. True story. Take that, bullies. We'll get you back. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right. Good morning, Sharon. How are you this morning? I always tell my kids and grandchildren not to start fights, but don't take it. There we go. I've got a friend that's like that, said don't start the fight, but if you get bullied and somebody starts a fight with you, finish it and learn how to finish it. But then again, my friend Doug that I just told you about was being bullied one time, and they carried a baseball bat in his car. Well, one time he was being bullied. They all pulled over to fight, I guess. He pulled out his baseball bat in the car. The bat got taken away from him, and he got his butt beat by his own baseball bat. So I suppose if you're going to try to finish the fight, not start it, but if you're going to try to finish it, you better darn well finish the fight. That's a good mom. Oh, well. There we go. Oh, amen, they deserved it. Well, that's true. I just tell it how it is, my friends. I'm a pretty open book. 1960s rocked on the playground, huh? Gorgeous sunrise taking shape here this morning. Yes, indeed. Brent says, that's what I've always told my boys. Don't start them, but make sure you know how to finish it. We're not friends anymore. He went off the rails. Such as Doug. He got caught up in drugs and alcohol in college and just, I don't even know nobody knows where he is anymore today. We were like best friends for a long time, but that's what drugs and alcohol does to you. Right? And that's probably why so many of you are sober now. Because I know several of you that joined the platform are sober. Maybe you had a bad experience, but it never turns out good. Right? It never turns out good. If we didn't take our part, we would have gotten a whooping. Pretty at the golf course this morning. First rule of Fight Club. That's right, buddy. Oh, by the way, it's 7:26. Let's see if there's any accidents. I didn't start you off with traffic because there's nothing going on out there this morning. But we'll take a live look there from our T-Dot cameras here this morning. That's live look there for you in Pellissippi Parkway. And traffic is running smoothly here this morning, so no issues to speak of there. Let's see how the sunrise is shaping up from Klingman's Dome and Newfound Gap. So Klingman's Dome, there's a live look in Klingman's Dome. Are those dead trees in the background, or are those trees trying to change colors? How many of you have leaves that are already falling, and just because they turned brown and they just fell? No color yet, unfortunately. Here's another view from Newfound Gap. And some hazy sunshine out there, but a gorgeous morning with a current temperature of 50 degrees, and it feels like 46 up on top of the peaks of the mountains. Man, oh man. So stay with me on social media. I'm going to be keeping you up to date on all things, of course, Milton, as Milton will make landfall late tonight. Probably after about 10 to midnight tonight is really the timing of that. I think that's when Milton's going to be making landfall. If you joined in late on the broadcast, of course, you know how it is. I will send you back to the 24-hour weather channel to get an update on exactly what this storm is doing, how it's all playing out, what our forecast looks like, the big cool down that is expected as we head into next week. It's going to feel chilly. Who wants to make some chili? By the way, speaking of which, I made steak sandwiches last night, and they were amazing. I'll try to get those. I'll see if I can't get the app store, not the app store, the shop store up and running with the new merch, with the sweatshirts anyways. For any of you that are looking for some hoodies, I'll try to get that done today. I'll post it on social media, and hopefully tomorrow morning I can tell you that we are successful with more merch on the shop, at the merch store, I should say. Go embrace the day. Take a nice little walk this morning or later on this evening when the weather feels good. Maybe not during the peak heat of the day, although it's not going to be hot by any stretch. And the sweat factor goes way down if you're working outside. For all of you that have taken time out of your day and out of your life to help our neighbors here in East Tennessee, thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. We are the volunteer state for a reason, because we are very good at volunteering, aren't we? Before I send you off to the I guess I'll just send you off to the 24-hour channel. Anyways, we sure hope you have a great day. I'll see you back here for Wake Up with Witcher tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Don't forget to check out all the East Tennessee weather platforms. I'm on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube. Go smash that subscribe button on YouTube if you don't mind. That really helps the platform out. Like and share all the important information that I put on social media. It really helps community awareness. For folks that are joining us from Florida, hey, be safe. Be safe. And if you can get out now. You have less than 15 hours before conditions less than 12 hours before conditions really start to deteriorate thanks to Hurricane Milton. Category 5, expected to make landfall as a strong 3 or maybe a weak 4. We'll see how it all plays out. Only time will tell, my friends. See you back here tomorrow.
From the East Tennessee Weather Center, here's your morning weather update with meteorologist Mike Witcher.
And good morning, everyone. Sure hope you're having a great day and a great week so far. The weather has been absolutely beautiful. We're going to talk much more about your local forecast. It's pretty boring and mundane, although we do have some changes to talk about as we get into next week. More on that coming up here in just a few minutes. But of course, we do want to talk about the hurricane as well, because we are just about 18 hours or less from it making landfall across the west coast of Florida. Yesterday was a beautiful day around town. We had temperatures in the low, mid, and even upper 70s. Category 5, Hurricane Milton. It has ramped back up, and these are some of the changes that we're going to be talking about. So here we go. There's the storm system moving its way towards Florida. Right there where the eye is, we're just about 18 hours from making landfall across the west coast. So already sitting showers and thunderstorms move their way through parts of Florida right now, but conditions will go downhill for Floridians here over the next 12 to 18 hours. And this storm system now is expected to make landfall as a strong Cat 3 or a Cat 4. It's only just barely over a Category 4, but still the possibility of a Category 4. Notice that maybe it's a little bit further south of Tampa. Again, you can't concentrate on this line specifically. That's what we have. The error right there with a cone of uncertainty anyways, because it still could wobble north or south. But if it is south of Tampa, this is great news for Tampa, because they're not going to get as much of a storm surge, but they're still going to get the impacts of the incredible winds. And I wanted to show you the spaghetti plots issued, because this is a bunch of different models, but the point of the story is most of them take it south of Tampa, Florida, south of St. Petersburg, which would be great news. Again, still going to be dealing with some extremely strong wind, but maybe not the exact eye of the hurricane, and maybe not the storm surge that we've been talking about as well. Here's the latest future cast. We pick up our timeline. It's going to start to work its way towards Florida, of course, throughout the day today. There it is, the eye of the hurricane right there, continuing to work its way through the state and then back out into the Atlantic Ocean. As we get into, say, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, the storm system would be all gone. So it's going to last for about 24 hours. And extremely powerful winds associated with this storm, obviously. As a Category 3 or Category 4, we're talking winds greater than 100, 120, 130 miles per hour possible. So that could happen right around the Brendan area, Tampa, Orlando, before it starts to work its way on out. But notice by Thursday evening, still some very strong winds, some breezy winds on the backside of that as the winds begin to shift out of the northeast versus the south and west. All right, here locally, another beautiful day ahead of us, even cooler than what we saw yesterday. This pattern holds strong all the way through the upcoming weekend. But then Sunday into Monday, another cold front's going to bring us even cooler air. I've got more details on that here in just a moment. We start the morning off nice, crisp, and cool. In the 40s and 50s, we'll climb into the mid-60s, mid to upper 60s anyways, as we get into the lunch hour. Look at these lunchtime temperatures. You want to grab a patio if you typically eat out for lunch. It's going to be a great lunch hour to enjoy. Maybe take a nice little walk around the office building. Temperatures this afternoon will be in the low, mid, and again, upper 70s. So again, similar to what we had yesterday, maybe a couple of degrees cooler, and that's going to make for a nice, comfortable evening to sit on the back patio, maybe have dinner outside if you have a good patio. And this weather, as I mentioned, is going to hold strong as this ridge of high pressure continues to hold strong, giving us low dew points and that cooler air mass. And that's what's responsible for also keeping Milton further to our south. So when you look at our dew points, they're going to stay comfortable, gradually climbing a little bit on into our Sunday thanks to our next cold front that pumps in a little bit more low-level moisture. But then the air really dries out, even drier air expected as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and that's associated with a trough to our north. So there's your Sunday forecast. Here we go, get into Monday and Tuesday as well as Wednesday, and this trough swings its way on into the area, and that's what's going to drop our dew points and drop our temperatures as well. Low temperatures are going to be in the 40s and 50s and then drop down into the 30s and 40s as we get into next Tuesday and Wednesday. Maybe some frost. We'll see how it all plays out. Again, low temperatures are going to be on the chillier side for sure. High temperatures will stay fairly average, a little bit above average ahead of the cold front, and then tanking down into the 60s and 70s as we get into Monday and Tuesday. So big cool down is on the way. And this is what the Climate Prediction Center is predicting, below average temperatures that may actually linger through the latter part of the month. So it doesn't look like we're necessarily going to get a warming trend. We're going to be cooling. And no rainfall, unfortunately, because just don't have any moisture associated with this cold front. Maybe a 10% chance for a stray shower on Monday. That should be about the extent of it. But it does look like this dry weather pattern is going to stick with us through the latter part of the month as well. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. We're going to see those temperatures nice and comfortable for the next 7 days. Crossville, you may dip down to 58 degrees next Tuesday. Same with you folks in Tri-Cities. Other than that, Knoxville and Chattanooga and surrounding areas will be in the mid-60s. Don't forget to download the East Tennessee Weather app. It's your one-stop shop for weather right here in East Tennessee. It's everything you need to know for weather. It's simple, it's clean, it's efficient. The interactive radar is amazing. You can track the hurricane with the interactive radar. Gives you all the latest data from the National Hurricane Center as we track it into Florida. Plus, it gives you current, past, and future radar of 2 hours. You've got your day parts, your daily forecasts, all forecasted by yours truly. East Tennessee Weather app. Just go to the App Store and search eastTNweather, all one word. Have a great day.